Kevin McCullough.
And we're back. Kevin McCullough, glad to have you with us. Christian Taylor is my guest, and her film is called The Girl Who Wore Freedom. You can go to thegirlwhoworefreedom.com for more info. There are some in-theater screenings, which I'm sure this must look fantastic on the big screen. So go and see it in theaters if you can, but you can also stream it at home on several of the favorite streaming services, YouTube, Apple, and Amazon, just among some of them. Christian, in the film, there is this little girl who I believe has an American flag that's fashioned into some piece of what she wears. It's a jacket or a dress or something. What is the story of that little one?
Yeah, it's a great question. So her name is Danny Patrice. She was 5 on D-Day, and she lived right off of Utah Beach. Her mother and father, her father was a mechanic, her mother was a homemaker, and her father actually helped the GIs when they came off the beach, fixing their flat tires and things like that. They heard the planes flying overhead at night, and they saw the paratroopers coming down and heard the guns firing. So they shuttled the children away in bed. But in the morning when Danny got up, she saw the GIs. It was actually the 4th Infantry Division coming off Utah Beach, marching right past her house. And they gave her gum and candy and chocolate. She'd never had any of those before. And it really just changed her life. Her parents helped those GIs find the Germans in the bell tower, and the mother patched up a soldier's arm. And then the mother found red parachutes and white parachutes around their little village. And I bet you don't know this, I didn't, that we had parachutes that were color coded. So red ones brought machinery and white ones brought medical supplies, or they were reserve parachutes, and they had blue and green and yellow ones, and they were all different colors. So the GIs knew what was falling. And so her mother used those parachutes to fashion a dress that looked like an American flag. She had blue fabric and stenciled white stars to thank the GIs that liberated her town. And so since 1945, the French people of Normandy have invited the military units that liberated them, the 101st, the 82nd Airborne, the 173rd in that American sector. And they also do it in the Canadian sectors and in the British sectors. They invite them all back. But I was in the American sector at the time. So they invite them back, and they've had ceremonies on Utah Beach and Omaha Beach and Point de Hawk every year for the last 80 years. And so that dress is hanging in the Utah Beach Museum. She continued to honor these GIs every year. When she got older, her mother made her another one because she's had more material. And she honors them today. She's still alive. I'm going back to see her next week. We're going to ceremonies together with a veteran from my film, C.O. Bauer. We are taking him back to D-Day for the first time. And so he will be her veteran. We will take him around together, and he will be honored at all of these ceremonies.
You've done this with multiple veterans that served, and we're losing them super fast. Like there's just not going to be hardly any left in a very near future. But what has been the most meaningful thing you've gained from helping those who were there that day return to that site?
The biggest honor that I have had is that I have enabled veterans to go back, and I have watched them. So I met a veteran here in the United States in Florida who could barely walk. He was using a walker, and his family said, I don't know if he'll be able to make it. And as soon as we gave him the opportunity, all of a sudden everything changed. He started exercising. He came to life.
Wow.
But then when he got to Normandy, a whole new thing happened. His countenance changed, his color changed. And I've seen this over and over again. It's like Normandy for them was the fountain of youth, and they came alive. The people lavished them with attention, and they listened to their stories, and they wanted to know, where did you serve? When did you serve? What did you do? What was your patch that you wore? And they just genuinely, they wanted to take photographs with them, and they wanted their autograph. And so these veterans felt cared about. One veteran I heard in a meeting said to the Norman people, thank you so much for everything you do for us and for how much you care about us over here. Here we feel like heroes, and back home we feel like old men.
Wow.
And it ripped my heart out because, oftentimes we'll say thank you for your service, or we clap for them in parades, but do we go sit in a nursing home?
What's interesting about that age group is that the people that did serve have a very hard time talking about it. and
Yeah.
there's a certain degree of discretion that they just feel like it's not being appropriate to mention certain things.
Right.
So it is a special time if someone is in that environment and can experience the opportunity to open up and to talk about what they've been through. Christian Taylor is the director, producer of the film, The Girl Who Wore Freedom. And you can go to thegirlwhoworefreedom.com to get all the information about the film. It is screening in theaters, and I would encourage you to do just that, or to screen it at home on one of your favorite streaming.
Stick around for more of That Kevin. Next, That Kevin Show with Kevin McCullough.